He's 37, and do you think to yourself, hey, I'm not going to have him practice today?
You think?
And you looking at my birth certificate more than you looking at my game. That's what Matthew Stafford is saying.
Most gifted arms in the history of football. It's a Hall of Fame arm. It's special.
Oh, you don't say.
Super Bowl champion, former #1 overall pick, one of the most dangerous arms in the NFL, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah?
Now, he can't move all that well, and that's a problem.
As Tom Brady aged and Peyton Manning and Matt Stafford, it's different. There are certain things they can't just talent out of.
Okay.
Stafford moves a little less than what you would want a quarterback in 2025.
Huh.
Because he knows himself better than any of us. And going into year 17, I sure am really lucky that we're able to do this again together.
Matthew Stafford will be 37 years old for this NFL season. And the natural question comes up among many NFL fans. How much does he have left in the tank?
You're good!
Historically, one might think there might be a decline in play at age 37. But the NFL has changed a lot, dramatically in fact. And a recent article by Kenneth Arthur of the Turf Showtimes, which I'll link in the description below, go check it out, points out there's some interesting stats, especially in the modern day NFL, about quarterbacks at the age of 37.
What was I thinking? I ain't old, huh?
Don't worry, Pops. We're almost across the street.
So I echo Kenneth's question in this video. Can Matthew Stafford reach the pantheon of these great 37-year-olds quarterbacks this year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's dive in. As Kenneth Arthur points out in his article, History of Age 37 Quarterbacks, he acknowledges that pre-1990s, quarterbacks were often expected to retire by age 37. Guys like George Blanda played into his late 30s, yes, but often with high interceptions, and it was a very different passing era in the NFL. The 90s saw a transition with quarterbacks like Warren Moon, John Elway, Steve Young, and Dan Marino pushing into their late 30s. The league started changing rules to protect its stars, and quarterbacks began optimizing their health and training regimens.
Health benefits. Strengthens your back. Better performance in sports.
But the 2000s and 2010s is where veteran quarterback play really took off. Vinny Testaverde had success. Rick Gannon won an MVP at age 37. Brett Favre was slinging it. Kurt Warner reached the Super Bowl. And then the game changers like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. These guys didn't just play. They often had some of their best seasons after age 37.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Let's look at some incredible performances by quarterbacks at age 37 specifically, defying all logic. First up, Peyton Manning. In 2013, at age 37, he was coming off of a serious neck injury. Many thought his career would be over. Manning didn't just return, he had his best statistical season ever with 5,477 passing yards and an absurd 55 touchdowns. And of course, he won MVP. He averaged 53 more yards per game than Joe Burrow's 2024, leading that mark. Then there's Aaron Rodgers. At age 37 in 2020, and again at age 38 in 2021, Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs, posting a 70% completion rate and a passer rating of 121.5 in 2020. Over those 2 years, he threw a combined 85 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. That's arguably the best 2-year stretch of quarterback play we've ever seen.
Wow.
And Drew Brees at age 37 in 2016 led the league in attempts with 673, throwing for over 5,200 yards. He then completed at least 70% of his passes in 5 consecutive seasons from age 37 to 41. And can veteran quarterbacks at age 37 or beyond win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. First example, Tom Brady. He proved it in 2014, leading the Patriots to a Super Bowl victory over the Seahawks, capping a dominant playoff run. And we won't talk about anything else Tom Brady related in the Super Bowl. John Elway achieved it in 1997, leading the Broncos to their first Super Bowl win. And going way back, Johnny Unitas won the Super Bowl with the Colts in 1970. We also saw Kurt Warner nearly do it in 2008, Rick Gannon in 2002, and Manning again in 2013. The point is, being 37 doesn't close Super Bowl windows. Let's not be ageist here. So what does this all mean for Matthew Stafford? As Kenneth points out in his article, if you think Stafford can't hit career highs in passing yards and touchdowns or win MVP because he's coming off of a humdrum season with the Rams, you should think again. He demonstrated elite arm talent and toughness throughout his career. Now, with a potential loaded offensive arsenal around him, especially if he gels quickly with new weapons like Devontae Adams and Terrence Ferguson, the stage is set. And I would just like to also point out here, this is Matthew Stafford's stats on the 2024 season, as you can see. And in that late, surge where the Rams really got hot towards the end of the year, from week 6 all the way to week 16, Matthew Stafford was on a roll. He didn't have as many touchdowns, but if you look at collectively in 2024, he still had over 3,700 yards passing, and he only played in 16 games out of the possible 17. Also, if you look at Kyren Williams' rushing statistics, just under 1,300 yards, and most of his running was towards the end of the season as well. So there's enough here that would lead me to believe Stafford still is playing at a high level, and with the upgrades that they've made just in developing players, drafting, signing free agents, I believe Matthew Stafford is ready for a phenomenal 2025 NFL season, potentially historical.
No, I think we got a lot done. I thought we had a great, approach to the offseason. Sean did a great job of setting expectations, and then we have a bunch of guys that know how to come in and work. That's young guys and old guys. It's an impressive group. It's a lot of fun to be around them every single day.
The history of the modern NFL shows that Matthew Stafford at age 37 has every statistical and historical precedent to not only have a good year, but possibly win MVP. Lead the league in major statistics, and even possibly lead the Rams to another Super Bowl. Don't let the narrative of the aging quarterback fool you. Matthew Stafford has all the tools and resources around him to have plenty of success at age 37 this season. So I'll repeat the question that Kenneth Arthur asked in his article. Can Matthew Stafford reach the pantheon of these great 37-year-old quarterbacks? Based on the data that Kenneth presents, the answer leans heavily towards yes. But what do you think? Do you think Matthew Stafford has an MVP season in him at age 37? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care, all that good stuff. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, much appreciated. I'm just a dude on YouTube having as much fun talking about the Rams as possible. And as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams. Woo!